Guys, welcome back, and today we are diving into the introduction to economic theories and models. And this is the agenda of what we are going to learn today, and let's get started. So, learning objectives, we are going to interpret a circular flow diagram, which is really important in analyzing economic, and we are going to explain the importance of economic theories and models. And we are going to describe goods and services markets and labor markets. John Maynard Keynes, he was a pivotal figure in modern economics. His ideas fundamentally transformed macroeconomics theory and practice. Keynes argued that economic is not merely a subject or of study, but a way of thinking. He famously stated, "Economics is a method rather than a doctrine, and a paradox of the mind, a technique of thinking which helps its possessor to draw correct conclusions." This perspective has significantly influenced how economics approach and analyze economic problems, and it emphasizing the importance of theoretical frameworks and models in understanding economic activities. In economic theories and models, economic theories are abstract representation that simplify complex real-world issues to their essentials, allowing economists to derive insights about economic behaviors. Economic models are applied or empirical representations of these theories, used to test them with real-world data, and these models can be physical, graphical, or mathematical. And circular flow diagram. This is a simplified model. Like the circular flow diagram is crucial in economics because it distills complex interactions into manageable and understandable forms. The circular flow diagram depicts the economic as consisting of two groups, households and firms, that interact in two markets, the goods and services market and the labor market. This model helps economics to focus on essential elements without getting overwhelmed by every detail, and providing a clear framework to analyze economic behaviors and predict outcomes. And here is what a circular flow diagram looks like. We have two parts. One is households and firms, and they are providing different profits to each other. So it's like a circular flow inside the economic. And importance of simplified models. Simplified models are vital in economics as they distill complex interactions into manageable forms, and focus on key aspects of economic activities. Last, it provides a clear framework for analyzing behaviors and predicting outcomes. So it is really important for models in economic that you have a visually graph so you can analyze the trend and stuff. And for instance, the circular flow diagram can be expanded to include additional elements such as financial markets, government interventions, and international trade, making it a versatile tool for various economic analysis. And economist toolkits. Economists use various theories to dissect and understand economic issues, much like a carpenter uses specific tools for different tasks. These theories are often represented through diagrams, graphs, and mathematical equations, which help in visualizing and solving complex problems. For example, supply and demand curves can illustrate market equilibrium, while cost-benefit analysis can guide decision-making processes. And here, application of theories. Here, the words that I underline are the keywords that you guys have to pay attention at. So economists apply theories and graphs to analyze economic issues and illustrate relationships between variables. For example, supply and demand graphs show how market conditions impacts prices and quantities. This methodical approach, combining theory and graphical representation, enables economists to predict outcomes, identify trends, and propose solutions systematically, ensuring that conclusions are based on analysis rather than guesswork. And now it's the practice problem time. First, interpretation of circular flow model diagram. Yeah, same thing. And we are going to explain the flow of goods, services, and payments of a circular flow model. The answer is in the next page. As I'm reading the question, you guys can think about the answer. And yeah, importance of economic theories. Describe the role of economic theories and models in understanding real-world economics issues. And providing an example of a theory and explain how it simplifies complex interactions. Goods and services market. Explain how the goods and services market functions within the circular flow model and what roles does households and firms play in this market. And here we are answering the answers of these. So the first question, households buy goods and services from firms with money flowing from households to firms. Firms buy labor from households with wages flowing from firms to households, and this is an explanation of the relationship of firms and household between the circular flow model, and this is how they work, how the wages and material transferred. And next, importance of economics theories. Economic theories simplify complex issues by focusing on essential elements. For example, supply and demand theory explain how prices are determined by the interaction between buyers and sellers. Goods and services market. In this market, households act as consumers purchasing goods and services from firms. Payment flow from households to firms as revenue, and this is how we have contact the most. And we have another 3 questions. Labor market dynamics. Discuss the functioning of the labor markets as depicted in the circular flow diagram. How do households and firms interact in this market? Compare models and theories. Differentiate between an economic theory and an economic model. Provide an example of each. And last, real-world application of models. How can the circular flow diagram be expanded to include elements like government and international trade? Provide a brief explanation. And we're heading to the answers. First question. In the labor market, households supply labor to firms in exchange for wages, salaries, and benefits. Firms demand labor to produce goods and services. Comparing models and theories. A theory is an abstract representation of how variables interact, while a model is an applied representation used to test theories. For example, theory of supply and demand. Supply and demand curves as a model. Yeah, and that is actually a model that we use to analyze trend in economics, and we will gonna learn it in the future. And the last question, real-world application of models. The model can include government by adding taxes and government spending flows, and international trade by including export and import, showing interactions beyond domestic markets. And that's all for the lesson. Thank you for attending.